Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
Hello and welcome to the Intel Brief. Today is Tuesday, 1 July. I'm your host Daniel, and today we're going to talk about the Azerbaijani police raid on Sputnik's media offices in Baku. Trump has ended sanctions on Syria and ordered a terror designation review. And Turkey has detained a cartoonist over a picture of Muhammad. So firstly, police in Baku raided the offices of Russia's state-funded news agency Sputnik on Monday, the local media has reported. The swoop came as tensions between Azerbaijan and Russia escalated after the deaths of two ethnic Azerbaijanis in a police raid last week. Azerbaijan's Minister of Internal Affairs said Sputnik continued to operate in the country through illegal financing, despite its accreditation being revoked in February 2025. Authorities said the arrests were made during the search but did not provide further details. Images published by local media outlets showed two men being led away by masked officers. According to Russia's state-owned RIA Novosti, the detainees included Sputnik's Azerbaijani's editor-in-chief and its director. Russian authorities denounced the move as an unfriendly act by Baku and an illegal arrest of Russian journalists. Sputnik is a multilingual radio and news portal and is widely viewed as a tool for spreading Kremlin propaganda abroad. So what? Russia is big on the information war. These news agencies, Sputnik, RT, RIA, they're all propaganda mouthpieces. And it's unsurprising that when tensions are high between two countries, that they're going to try and crack down on propaganda mouthpieces. So yeah, not an unsurprising move. There were other reports that the two men arrested were members of the FSB. That doesn't seem to be proven yet, or it's never going to be proven, obviously. But it seems possibly to not be true. If it is the editor and the editor-in-chief and director, that makes complete sense. Like, that's who you would take away if you wanted to shut down the organization and claim that it's running an illegal news agency in your country. So yeah, tensions between Azerbaijan and Russia will be very high now and are unlikely to de-escalate anytime soon unless Azerbaijan just sends these guys straight back to Russia, which is quite possible, and then shuts down the news agency, which is something they're likely to do. And next, US President Donald Trump on Monday signed an executive order to dismantle the US sanctions program on Syria, ending the Middle Eastern country's isolation from the international financial system. The sanctions program, which has been in place since 2004, imposed far-reaching sanctions on Syria that affected most state institutions, including its central bank. Levitt added that the move will enable the US to maintain sanctions on Syria's former president Bashar Assad and his associates, as well as human rights abusers, drug traffickers, individuals involved in chemical weapons activities, the Islamic State and its affiliates, and other Iranian proxies. Trump's order also instructed the US State Department to review the designation of the Islamic group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS, as a foreign terrorist organization. Fucking hell. The Syrian transitional government has largely emerged from this group, notably their leader. The US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, is also going to review Syria's designation as a state sponsor of terrorism, as well as that of Syria's transitional president, Ahmed al-Shara, as a terrorist. So what? It's a pretty clear move to try and bring Syria and its new government into like the Western fold, essentially. It kind of lines up with what I reported last night about Israel reaching out to try and smooth relations with Syria as well. There's definitely a big move at the moment to try encourage them to become a more democratic, open society and kind of like embrace some of the values of the West, kind of similar to what we see in like Saudi Arabia or the UAE. While it's highly unlikely that we'll see full-on open democracy with like equal rights for men and women and other things that are common to see in the West, it's possible that it will transform into a society similar to that of Saudi or the UAE. And kind of key to that is removing these sanctions so they can start rebuilding their economy and ideally rebuilding some kind of way of making money. I'm unsure if Syria has oil, but trying to get into those natural resources that are common in the Middle East and start building back an economy so that Syria can thrive. And lastly, a cartoonist working at the satirical Lehman magazine has been detained by police for questioning on Monday, amid controversy over a cartoon depicting the Prophet Muhammad. In a statement, the Chief Public Prosecutor's Office said it had launched an investigation into a cartoon published by the magazine on June 26 that openly disparaged religious values. Arrest warrants had been issued for those involved, the prosecutor's office said. The arrest warrants also included Lehman's editor-in-chief and managing director. Hey, that sounds familiar. Turkish Justice Minister earlier said that the cartoons depicting Muhammad were an affront to religious sensitivities and social harmony. So what? Lots of Muslim countries still have blasphemy laws, and if you work there and you take the risk doing something like that, you know what you're getting into. It's quite surprising to see a company in Turkey, like a cartoon company, drawing pictures of the Prophet Muhammad, as it's pretty clear what the sensitivities are going to be there. And Turkey still has some pretty extreme blasphemy laws and some pretty extreme ideas around Islamic ideology. It's kind of two ways I see this going. It's possible that he could be made to be a scapegoat by the current government and used as like a tool to like push their Islamic ideology further. And then on the other hand, he could just essentially be let go pretty quickly, as it kind of depends how the public reacts and the levels of outrage that we see. So yeah, pretty scary for him, but kind of unsurprising with the current state of Turkish politics. So yeah, interesting. Thank you for listening. This has been the Intel Brief. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you again tomorrow.